Hello again, it's Nigel Lee, teaching professional at Worthing Golf Club. This is my second video on the insight of 40 years of picking it up from putting. I always feel that people always kind of hold on to the missed putts. They finish a round of golf and they always think about, oh, if only. But there's a great story about Jack Nicklaus at a clinic that he was doing for some very special people. And he was on the putting green, and one of the statements that he made, he went to the crowd, I have never missed a 6-foot putt. But somebody then in the crowd put their hands up, like they would do with Mr. Nicklaus, and said, Mr. Nicklaus, I saw you miss a putt at the 1959 US Open. The point to take from that, Jack Nicklaus deletes every missed putt. He will only remember the good putts. And it's one of the things in the psychology of golf that I've picked up, that what I do is at different distances, I recollect my best putts from that distance that I hold. And I will then remind myself of that in my routine of that putt. I don't remind myself of the misses. And that's what people hold on to, is the misses. And going back to my first video, I kind of talked about the 2 sticks. And if you look at the 2 sticks, they've got markers on them that are trying to get the pace of the stroke. Very, very important. And for the change in length of stroke, the pace of the putt must change. And if that pace is correct, that then dictates the line that you choose at putting. So for me, I will practice at times, I will get the 2 sticks and I will try and go from marker to marker. To me, that is a 1-to-2 ratio. Whatever I go back, my forward stroke is 2. So I look at putting as back 1, forward 2. In between that is the ball, and that will then slightly take the speed of the putting away. When you look at putting, it's a putting stroke, not a hit. It's not like golf where I'm hitting it, it's a gentle stroke. And this is where every golfer can actually improve the putting. So I would definitely work between these 2 sticks, get the feeling of the pace. I would hit 1 putt, as I'm going to demonstrate. However far that goes, I will then get the next ball and then try and go to the next level to see that the pace of the putt changes. In my last video I mentioned a person called Paul Runyon. I did meet Paul Runyon in 1992 in San Francisco, where he did a presentation on putting. And I asked him 2 questions, and they were 2 very, very interesting answers. I'm not going to give away because they were completely the opposite to what I thought at the time about putting. But he was very famous at beating Sam Snead in the 1938 US Open, and he beat him 8-7. Snead at times hit the ball 100 yards past it, but when he got on the greens, he was unbelievable. They called him the Little Poison as a nickname. So that's for people who think they're not very long hitters. Putting could become your game within a game, and then you could really improve on your putting. So indoor work is just as important. So putting, getting that distance is key. And then I talked about the routine of what I would do on the putting green. I've got a typical putt here. It's a little bit, looks a bit right to left. I will then go into my routine. But if you watch what I do here, once I've lined the ball up, I put the stick behind that starts to give me the true line of the putt. Now somebody might go, well that's a bit too far left, but it all depends on the pace I'm hitting the putt. And that's the player's decision. So it might look a long way left, and there's a good chance I'm going to miss this, but I'm just going to try and show you that this is what I would do in my structured practice. And luckily I hold it for the camera, thank you very much. And I would do that 1 putt, then I would move to another putt over here and do the same again. So all the time changing the perspective. Remember, putting is one goal. That's all you get. And so I would do this and then keep going round. I might make the distance less or more, but I'd always try and find a different slope all the time. I wouldn't try and pick flat putts, I'd pick breaking putts that you get on the golf course, especially at Worthing Golf Club.